Welcome back everybody to a new YouTube video, and today I'll be teaching you guys how to get started into coding if you're a beginner, if you just came out of college and you want to get into coding, or you went to college for something else, now you want to start coding now, make some money on the side, or make it your passion or your actual occupation. Then I'm going to teach you guys how to get into it. Or if you just never even went to college, or you're 40, 50, 60, 70 now and you just want to get into coding, this is how you start. So the first thing you want to do is you want a code editor. Code editor is the place where you're going to type code into. It's kind of like Notepad, but where you type words in. It's kind of the same idea. So you go to the Google search, and then I would type in top code editors. So then it gives you a list of the code editors. There's Sublime Text, Atom, Notepad++. I used to use Notepad++ and Sublime Text, but the one I use now is Visual Studio Code. And if you go to this link here, they list the ranking of the best code editor to be Sublime Text, but they rank number 2 as Visual Studio Code, and this is the one that I think should be number 1, because that's where the tech industry is moving towards, and I use it. This is the holy grail of text editors. So yeah, that's my opinion. So you can go download this. Just download Visual Studio Code. Once you go here, you can click on this link. Then you can go ahead and download it for Windows or Mac, or even Ubuntu or Red Hat. But yeah, just download it. It's very easy and quick download. Once you download it and install it, then you're going to want to run it and open it up. So that's what we have here. So when you open it up, this is what it comes out to be. So if you're lost and don't know what to do when you come to the home page, the first thing you want to do is there should be a welcome screen right here, and you want to make a folder. So you can make a folder on your desktop window or wherever on your desktop or in a different place. Just remember the path to it. And once you make a folder, the first thing is you can either drag that folder from the desktop and drag it into here, and the program is going to recognize it. Or what you could do is you can just click on the recent or open folder up here, and then go locate its path. So what I'm going to do is I already have the path for this vid, so I'm just going to click it right here. And now that I'm in this path, I'm going to give you a look at what these do. So you have some tabs up here: file, edit, selection, view, go, run, terminal. But the ones we're going to focus on are the ones on the left, like the extensions, search bar, files. So this right here is the folder, right? So before we get into the so we'll get into this first. So when you're in the folder, the first thing you can do is let's make a file, right? So the first thing is you want to make an HTML file. That's what I always lean towards, unless we're doing something with a framework, but we're not in this video. So let's make a basic HTML file. So what I'm going to call is, so as soon as I click on this new file, it's going to lead me to type something in, like how you would rename a folder. And I would just type in index.html. Now you want to put .html after it because this is an HTML file. HTML files are very different from other files, such as a text file or a CSS file. So you always want to have the .html. What becomes for it, like the index, you can rename it to whatever you want. Like if I want to name it test123, that's still fine. It doesn't really matter. But in this case, people usually just rename it to index. A lot of people rename it to index, just from experience. So if you just leave it like this, then right here. And then now to write some code is, you can either start writing some HTML, saying div or return statements, and write test, and then you can go and writing some spans. This is some intermediate to advanced knowledge that you would need to know before you would want to go into this. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some shortcuts. So the shortcut you can do to run a baseline is, the first thing you want to do is you want to press shift and then exclamation mark. So basically whatever cases the symbol. So if you press just the exclamation mark and you click this, or you press enter, now you have some HTML code. You have up to 11 lines of HTML code, and you can run this. And if you run this, you're gonna get a blank page, but you have some code now, and it's able to run. So what we can do here is we can start with what this means. So this is just like what HTML, like the format, HTML language, it's English, the header. This stuff you don't really have to worry about that much. It's just like setting the format of the page. The title is the document. The title means like whatever shows up here. So in this Google Chrome browser, it says download Visual Studio Code. That's the title. Um, then there's the header, it closes it. So this exclamation mark closes the body. Now we'll get into this later. We got a body tag right here and a body tag. These are called tags. So whenever this thing I'm highlighting and it's within these two greater than and less than symbols, these are called tags. So we got a open tag and a closing tag. And then we have an HTML tag which closes the whole HTML file. So every code you write for HTML is mostly going to be in the body, whether you're linking another file to something else, and it would be up here. But I'm just going to show you just like the body today. So for example, if I just write, now you can do there's many different things that you can do. You can do div tag and then close it with another div tag. So this is something I want to show you guys. And so if I write just div, now I can like arrows case down and go to div. It might be easier to you, or I can just like write it out, but it doesn't matter. And then you just press another greater than symbol, then boom, it automatically comes up with the closing tag, and that's good for you because now you don't have to, when you're running code, you don't have to worry about inserting this closing div tag, because sometimes if you don't have it, then it's going to break your code and it's going to cause some errors, so you don't want that. So this helps you in that case. So hold your hand. So if I just right here test, and now for this test to show up on my HTML file when I run it on the website, what I want to do is I have to save the file, right? So to know whether or not your file is saved or not, if you see this circle thing up here, that means your file is not saved. Now if I press either save through this or Control S, I would do Control S. Now that circle thing is gone. Now it means I saved the file with Control S. So now that I saved the file, now I want to run this program. So in order to run this program, what I'm going to do is I'm going to download an extension. Okay, so you're going to go to the left hand of the screen, you're going to click on extensions, and then you're going to click on live server. Okay, I don't know what people use now, but this is what I use still. It's very good. Install this. Just click install. Automatically install. You don't have to do anything else. And once you've installed it and you see disable and uninstall, you can just go back to your Explorer and come back to the file. Click on this. You can either go here. You can click on the tabs up here, and now you can run the server. There's multiple ways to run the server, but what I usually tend to do is I just right click on the file, and then you have open with live server. So if I click on this, open with live server, now it's automatically going to open up a new tab on my Chrome browser or wherever I indicate the browser to be, whether it's Internet Explorer or Chrome. Now you can see your test is showing up. Now if I go back to my file and I just want to change it to uh, I want to work out, right? Now it changes the text I want to work out, automatically it refreshes by itself, because this is what live server does. It's a very useful tool for beginners, and this is how I got into coding and how I started coding as well. Now if you want to make another file within the folder, what you can do is you just click the file again and you would create a CSS file. Now I think I'll do this the CSS stuff in the next video, but you would call it style.css, and boom, now you got a CSS file. Okay, a CSS file is like moving the text wherever you want to be, changing the colors of it, the font, the fancy styles, and all of that. So that's what a CSS file usually does. And yes, you need .css after it, and whatever comes before it doesn't really matter. Now to link the style.css to the index HTML page, you don't really it doesn't really connect with each other just like that. You can't just make the file and have it connected. Now what you have to do is you have to connect it. Okay, so to connect it is what I usually do is after these two meta tags, I just press another enter bar, and then I would make a symbol, a tag, and I would go for the link tag, okay? So when I go for the link tag, I press enter, and then I would hit this. And then for this, you just say your source um, is equal to the style.css, and then it should be linked um, like style.css, like this. And then it would be linked once you save the file. But I'll show that in the next video. Um, and I'll show how gets moved around. But yeah, I just want to show that. This is just running on based off the index HTML file. Once you go into the CSS and get them both connected, you'll understand why they're connected and how it's moving the text, changing the shape, changing um, just everything about it. Because you could do CSS in the same file as the HTML. It is possible, but it's nasty. It makes it not organized, not clean, and you will give yourself a headache. And you want to write neat code so you understand where everything is. So I'll show that in the next video. And yeah, thanks.